I want to talk to you this time about how to add these media frames just to figure out your layout before you might even have the photos ready to go so you can see where they fit onto your page. Often it's better to have the frame first before we figure out what media goes in, so we know how things lay on our page and we can kind of fit the media to the right size. If I look at this test page, I've got my text columns and I've got this red box here with the X through it, which indicates this is where I want an image to go. And there's a little bit of a gap between my text boxes and this frame in order to give this some negative space and a little bit of breathing room. This text box is a red box because it's in this media tab. You'll notice that there's this rectangle underneath here. And this media tab is below, or this media layer is below the headlines and bylines and the captions callout. So headlines, bylines, right underneath that, and then caption. All of these sit on top of the media frame, which means that they're visible even if I put a photo in. If I move this media frame above those, that means when I put an image in, actually whatever I type in this headline or this caption won't be visible, which is why it is down below those two frames. If I delete this out of here and I want to make it from scratch, what I need to do is come over to this left-hand side and go to this frame tool option. Right now I'm on an ellipse mode because I'll show you that in a second, but I want to go back to the rectangle tool. The way that I did that was I just long pressed to find these different options. I do want the rectangle frame tool. I'm going to come up here to this margin corner, and I didn't quite snap that correctly. You can see on the left-hand side that it's not quite right, but we can make it right in a second. I am snapped to the right and snapped to the bottom of this caption. That looks right to me, and it creates this rectangle frame tool. I want to go back to my selection tool. I just hit V, and then I'm just aligning this right up with that margin so they're not off with each other. And this is how I create a space to put in or a frame to put in a photo later, which I'll do in another video. Let's try that again on this side with a different shape. And I also want to show you how to wrap text. So let's pretend that this is a profile and I want kind of a more interesting page. And let's say I want to put in an oval with a portrait of someone in the middle. So I come back to this frame tool. I'm going to long press and I'm going to go to the ellipse tool. If I just freeform this, you'll notice that I can kind of squash this circle into different ellipses or ovals. But if I hit shift at the same time, it creates a perfect circle even when I'm expanding it and I'm clicking and pressing with my mouse. So you can do that with the rectangle tool to create a square, or this ellipse tool to create a perfect circle, and same with all the polygon tools to create a perfect polygon, that kind of thing. But I do want an oval. I'm just going to freehand it for now. I'm going to switch back to my selection tool. You'll see that my mouse changed. I just hit V, and I'm going to align this with the middle vertically. You'll see that pink line shows up, and then also this green line shows up when I am aligning it maybe to the middle. Let's move it first and let's see if I want to align it. There it goes. So pink line for the middle of the page. And then what I can do is I can use my mouse, click on these selection points and just snap this to the middle of this grid because that's where I want it. And that seems roughly fine to me. I'm perfectly centered. What I want to do now is I want to make sure that this text isn't layered on top of or behind this photo. I actually want to wrap the text around this object. So I'm going to go to Window. I'm going to go to Text Wrap, and I don't normally have this open because I probably am going to make rectangular photos the most, so it doesn't really make that much sense. From here, I'm going to choose this version of Text Wrap, so there's no wrap. There's wrap around the bounding box, which would make it rectangle. So let me just click on that to show you. And then there's wrap around the object shape, which makes your text roughly ovular. That's not a word. I can also shift all my text down this way, or this says jump to the next column. But this is actually what I want for this version. I'm going to close this, and then I want to modify my text boxes, and we can just kind of see that if I do something like this with this sample text, I'm trying to get it so that way it all fits in, and you'll notice that little red plus goes away. Maybe I want something that looks like this on my page. I've just showed you how to wrap text. I've shown you how to use this frame tool to set placements of frames on your page to make sure that your layout is all good before we actually drag and drop images in. That's all I've got for you for this video.